Mental Training 101. And now back to Get Warrior Tough with Andrew and Dutch.
All right, you bunch of neurotics. You conscientiouses. Get Warrior Tough. Neuroticism. It sounds so evil. It is, though, really. I mean, it's just no good thing comes from being neurotic. But anyway. So here's the next one on the list, right, was a long and happy marriage. The research shows that conscientiousness is the trait most broadly associated and reported with marital satisfaction among the sample of long-wed couples.
Yeah, I need to get some of this right here. I know some married couples listening.
If you're conscientious in your relationship, I'm mindful. Like being considerate of your spouse, being mindful of your spouse's wants and needs, and then being efficient and vigilant and organized in meeting those wants and needs. Of course, you're going to have a long and happy marriage. Right? I mean, this is not rocket surgery.
I mean, think about another word that's associated with conscientiousness is dependable, right?
Yeah.
Don't you need to be dependable in a marriage?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You need to be, as we already said, you need to be, it needs to be a desire of yours to do well. So in marriage, you need to have the desire to do well. You have the desire to be a great husband. So if you don't have that, then I don't need to tell you what's going to happen there. But the thoroughness, right? You need to be thorough. You're dealing with another person. You're living with another person. You know, when you're doing different things around the house, when you're considering, you said being considerate, you need to be thorough. You need to follow through. You need to be careful. You know, all these different things that are associated.
What's the back side of the coin? The flip side of the coin is neuroticism, right? To be moody. Anxious and worrying all the time. You're operating out of fear and anger and frustration, envy and jealousy. If you are acting, if you're a jealous mate, of course you're not going to have a long and happy marriage. That's just not going to happen. If you're depressed and moody, no. Who wants to be around that? I mean, this is just not even hard.
You're talking about being able to control your impulses. You're talking about being able to control yourself. You're talking about when you enter into that union. You know, all those things are key, right?
Absolutely. I mean, who doesn't want a conscientious mate? I mean, I do. And I have one, man. Dude, did you see that new family picture that we just put up?
Yes.
It's my Facebook profile.
Beautiful.
I mean, my wife is smoking hot, and my kids are just gorgeous. I'm just so blessed, man, and lucky and fortunate. I got to tell you, I'm so grateful and appreciative. I get to look at them every day. They get the bad end of the deal because they got to look at me, but it's all good. I know, right? It's just so true, though. All right, so here's what? What are you talking?
No, you bring it all together. They came from you.
If you looked at that picture, I was all the way in the back in the shadows. Did you look at that picture? You know, I'm in the back in the shadow, kind of. All right, so a good friend of ours in Charleston took it, actually. So anyway, so a healthier life is another. Who wants to have a healthy, long life? Healthy, long life. Would anybody not want that? Listen to these numbers, Dutch. Among adults over age 45, neuroticism, and again, that's being moody, anxious, worried, operating out of fear, anger, frustration, envy, jealousy, guilt, and depressed, and moody. I said moody again. It needed it twice. And if you have low agreeableness, all associated with metabolic syndrome. And you know, metabolic syndrome leads to type 2 diabetes and obesity and heart disease and all that stuff that goes with it. Whereas high conscientiousness, right, individuals who scored in that top 10%, 40% less likely to have metabolic syndrome. So And here, this is the great news, Dutch. That's why I started off with that study out of the University of Edinburgh. Personality, it's not who you are. You could say, well, that's just how I am. I'm I'm moody, I'm frustrated. That's just how I'm wired. Well, you should be thankful you could change how you're wired. Otherwise, you've doomed yourself to low income, having a job you don't like, if you could even find one, a crappy marriage that ends quickly, and you end up with type 2 diabetes and being obese and heart disease and all that other stuff.
You know, if you didn't get anything from that, because people think personality is the impact or the effect, and this is real. People think your personality is about how you impact other people, right? Like how I treat other people. Right. You just basically said it impacts your health directly.
Yes.
So you're talking about you. So if you're not getting anything as a listener within the sound of our voice right now, if you didn't get anything from this personality discussion, because the average minded thinks personality is how others perceive me, right? I'm talking about a direct impact on my own health. Again, it begins with us. It begins ground zero leadership. CEO of you, it begins with us. Your personality directly affects your health. I mean, if that isn't enough for you to examine what you got going on and what you've been doing, how you've been behaving, how you've been thinking, if that isn't enough, I don't know what to tell you. It's not about how others perceive you, because that's what a lot of people it ends there with personality. Well, that's just the way that's just the way I am, and they can't deal with it, and they can't deal with it. No, it's about, can you deal with it? And if you're ending up with health issues because of how you are and how you behave and how you think and how you, man, I mean, that should be a game changer.
Yep. Conscientiousness, again, the best predictor of longevity when it was measured in childhood, and it also turned out to be the best predictor of long life when measured in adulthood. So just because you didn't, you could be, and again, it can change. Just because you were conscientious as a child, you could totally, become a slacker and neurotic and moody and frustrated and anxious when you get older. And the reverse can happen. But if you want to live a long life, you need to get on the conscientious train and give up the neuroticism. Give up being moody, give up being frustrated, give up that fear and scarcity mindset and jealousy and envy and anger and frustration and victimhood, the victim mindset.
And
it's killing you.
And the thing is, we never pretend like any of this stuff is easy. We just want to let you know that it's possible. Now, what's the next step? It's to contact us, reach out to us. We give you our contact information. Go visit us at getwarriortough.com. There is a path. There is a process that exists that's going to get you there. We're letting you know right now what it is and what's possible. And we're also throwing in some why and a little bit of how. We're just giving you a little bit of how because we want you to reach out to us. We don't have the time in this hour. We're coming up on it in the next 4 minutes now. I mean, this hour goes by so quickly when you're having this much fun. But so we can't give you as much of the how, but we want to tell you what's going on and explain as much as possible what's going on and give you what the possibilities are. We're not going to leave you where you are. We're going to tell you what the possibilities are. And then you have to reach out to us so we can show you how to get where you need to be.
Right. And it's a very simple, easy to implement process, and you're going to get results. You totally can move from being moody and frustrated and being, listen, I was moody and frustrated and anger driven and operating out of fear and scarcity. I used to be envious of other people's success, like if they got promoted and I didn't. Young Andrew, that's how I was, man. I'm very open and transparent about that in the journey that I've been on. So I'm not like I'm up here going, well, you should be like, listen, I'm telling you, you can change. I did. I was as far off the scale as you could get from being where I should be, of the center of the personality chart. However you type it, chop it up, 4, 6, 8, whatever it is, 4 and then 8 and 16 and 32, whatever. Drive to the center, right? There's so many now.
Look, we can do a whole show. We only got 2 minutes left in the hour, but we can do a whole show just on that. When you do your when you speak about that in our training sessions, man, I love hearing that because even though I've heard it a bunch of times, it's great, and hearing it over and over, man, it's wonderful because because you're very transparent during that time, and you talk about where you were, and you know that there are a lot of people that are hearing you that are there, and you're letting them know there's a path out of there, man. It's not about where you are now, but what the possibilities are and where you can be.
Right, and intentionally setting your course to going there where it's going to be better. And I'm not going to tell you it changes overnight. It doesn't. I mean, I looked at this, the data that I have goes from like 1997 till 2017. I think that's 20 years, isn't it, Dutch? I'm not a math major, but I think that's 20 years.
It's 20 years.
And it was a 20-year process. People are like, well, I'm just not even going to do it. It's 20 years. Well, that 20 years, by moving that, not only did it predict, it predicts workplace success, which I've had workplace success, and I'm having more of it, Dutch, right? We're getting more. Right? We're not just done. We're getting
right.
But I got, it helps me in my personal life. I have a great marriage. I've got great kids. And because I taught them this, they're getting better grades in school and in college. Amazingly, just like the stats, they don't commit crimes. All of us are going to live longer, not just because we don't smoke and drink, but because we have fewer strokes, we have lower blood pressure, and lower incidence of Alzheimer's disease. This is all the studies of conscientious people. If that doesn't motivate you to move to the center and be conscientious, I'm not sure really what would motivate you to move. Can it really be that simple? Yes. Isn't there something that conscientiousness doesn't predict that we all respect and desire? Maybe, but I gave you so many that it's like 90% there. Higher income and better job satisfaction, job that you like and love, a long, healthy, happy marriage, a long, healthy, happy life. If there's something else on the list, I'm not saying there's not. I just can't think of it right now while we're live on the air, Dutch. All right. The hour is gone. We got to go. But I will tell you, it's possible to change your personality. It's just your packaging. It's not who you are. And if you're really serious and you want a better life, get a hold of Dutch and I. We'll help you drive to the center and become more conscientious.